Hello all my friends, welcome back to the channel. If you're joining us for the first time, welcome. Please make sure that you subscribe to the channel and like the video if you like it, and hit that notification bell to receive notifications of all my videos when I post them. All right, so in today's video I'm going to be doing a pattern review of the McCall's M7970. It's a dress pattern that has 4 different variations of a dress. You have different sleeve variations. There's even a view that you have that you can make with an option of no sleeve, so it's a sleeveless version, and it has different like a pattern that has different panels as well that you can use. So I'll just go ahead and show you so you can actually see what it looks like. Here is the line art here, and as you can see, like I said, and I think it's view D, you can make a tiered dress that has different panels. So you could do like some color blocking. You could do the same thing with view C as well. And then view A is the sleeveless option that has like a flounce that goes down the center front of the neckline, as well as on the skirt as well. And the neckline is actually a wrap. It's a faux wrap top for the bodice part of the dress. And then for view B, as you can see, you have the option of doing the version that has like a flounce sleeve or flared sleeve, but the skirt is more of a slimmer fit for your skirt. So this is the front of the cover here. I decided to go with view A that has like the flounce on the neckline for the bodice, but I used view D's sleeves, but I actually, instead of having like a flared sleeve, I decided to go ahead and gather the sleeve in and make it more of a bishop sleeve. And I did not put the flounce on the skirt of the garment, and I did not make the belt either. So that is what I did, and I made 3 different views. The first view was a mock-up of a teal dress, and no matter how hard I tried to get decent photos of that particular make, it just did not work out. That particular fabric and the color of that fabric, it's so bright and vibrant. Every time I take a picture of it, I get like this bluish green cast over the entire photo, and so it just didn't look really well. And then also because of the type of fabric that I worked with, it just won't stop wrinkling no matter how much I iron it, how much, and so it just looks horrible. So I decided to just not even show the pictures of that. But it is a really nice teal colored fabric. And then also that particular dress, because it was the mock-up, the front of the garment gapes a little bit more, and so it's open. I had to put a lot of snaps on it so that I can keep the center front from falling open. It was just not the right size, and I'm gonna go ahead and tell you the size that I chose for that one. So for the teal one, which was my mock-up version of it, I chose a size 16 for the bust, a size 14 for the waist, a size 14 for the hips. However, I had to add let's see, a 1/2 inch plus a 1/4 of an inch. I had to do a shoulder adjustment, so that was a total of 3/4 of an inch for the shoulder adjustment that I had to come in, because it was like a drop. It almost looked like a drop shoulder type look, and it's not supposed to be a drop shoulder sleeve. So I had to actually take that in by 3/4 of an inch. I also added approximately 3.5 inches to the skirt in order for it to fit the bodice, which was really, it was really off. So the center front of the skirt is off-centered to the center front of the bodice, and so it was not working at all. So anyway, I did not find that out until So I only made the bodice portion of the teal dress for my initial, um, for the mock-up. So I didn't cut out the skirt. I just did the bodice portion of it. And then when I felt like the bodice portion was okay, or I had an idea of the adjustments that I had to make on the next garment, I decided to sit that to the side and I started working on this one, the one that I have on right now, which is the floral colored one. And that's where I ran into the trouble with the skirt, because I did not know at the time that the skirt pieces didn't fit because I stopped at the bodice for my mock-up. I hope you're able to follow me on this. So I, you know, did all the bodice portion of this. I made the adjustments to the sleeve and everything. And then I found out that the skirt pieces did not fit the bodice. So I was not happy. So at this point, I had already cut out my skirt pieces, so I couldn't go back and add 3.5 inches to the skirt pieces. So I either had to take that out of the bodice, or I had to come up with some other way to make the bodice fit the skirt. And since I had already custom made the bodice part of the garment to fit perfectly with the bodice and the waist area, so it is a gathered waist and it is elasticated, but because I had already did the bodice portion of it, I did not want to take any more away from the waist. I decided to go ahead and gather the back and the front part of the bodice at the bottom before adding the skirt onto the skirt onto the bodice. So I'll show you what I mean, and I hope you can follow all this. So I'll stand back so you can see. So if you can see here, this here, all this has been gathered in the front. It looks as if it's elasticated, which it partly is, but mostly this is gathered. I gathered this together before putting the elastic in, because otherwise it would not have worked. The back, you don't see it as much because the back skirt and the back bodice fit a little bit more evenly across than the front. I had to gather the front end a lot more than the back because, you know, it has the side seams and I wanted to match the side seams. And so I had to gather this more so than the back. But it looks good. And although I had that mishap, I still feel like it looks really nice. So with those things in mind, so thinking about the changes that I had to make, the sizes that I chose, I moved on and I thought I can still make this work. I can choose another fabric and I can make another dress and I can make this work without having to worry about all these gathers in the front of the dress. I just need to add more width to the pattern on the skirt. So that's basically what I did. And I made this second version. So I'll show you what that looks like, and I'll put pictures throughout the video so you can see what that looks like. So this one is a blue and white dotted fabric. It's a crepe fabric that I purchased, not crepe, Crinkle. It's a crinkled gauze-like fabric that I purchased from Joann Fabrics about a year and a half ago or so. And it's a beautiful fabric. It's very lightweight, very soft. Even though it has a crinkled texture, it's still very soft. So I chose a size 16 for the bust. And then this time I went up in the waist. So last time I chose a size 14 for the waist. This time I chose a size 16 to give me a little bit more room to work with so that I can attach the skirt. So I would choose a size 16 for the skirt, but then grade up just a little bit more because the size 16 for the skirt has a little bit more room than the 14 for the skirt. So it goes up by, I think, maybe more than a half an inch or something like that. And so that's why I decided to go with the size 16 so that I didn't have to change the original pattern as much to fit on the bodice. I hope that makes sense. And then I chose a size 16 for the hips as well. But it is a little bit more too loose in the hips for this. So I really do need that size 14. With this particular skirt, as you can see, is not close fitting like with this floral dress. And that's because I went up to that size 16. And like I said, going from that size 14 to the size 16, it is quite a jump here. I want to say that it's I'll have to go back and see what the pattern, like measure it on the pattern, but I want to say it's about a half an inch or more of a difference. So it's quite a bit of a jump there. So it goes up quite a bit. And because of that, I have a looser fit. It's not as form-fitting for the skirt. I also did my shoulder adjustment on this one as well, where I had to raise that up because it was, like I said, like it was a drop shoulder, and I didn't want a drop shoulder type sleeve. I wanted it to sit on my shoulder point more. So I did that adjustment as well. And I also lengthened the skirt of the garment by 1 inch. Just simply because I wanted it to hit below my knee and not at my knee or above my knee. And so I just lengthened the skirt on all of the skirts. I lengthened them by 1 inch. So that's also an adjustment that I did. Now I do find that with the blue dress, I came away with liking that dress more so over the rest, even though it is looser. It has a looser silhouette and it's not as close fitting as this floral dress. I do like the fit of this floral dress more, but because it has the gathers in the front and it had a little bit more complications because I wasn't aware that the skirt didn't fit the bodice, I just came away with not particularly liking the end result as much as I do with the blue dress. The other thing that I wanted to talk about is the flounce here. Now on the teal dress that I made, I didn't put a flounce on it at all. On this dress, I put the flounce on and I followed the instructions, but as you can see, it's not attached to anything. So the top of this flounce here is just like, it just kind of waves around, and if the wind blows or if you're walking or whatever, that back side is gonna show, you see. And so I decided that I didn't really like that, and so with the blue version I decided to go ahead and extend this this flounce piece. I gave it, I think, about a 3/8 of an inch or 5/8 of an inch or something like that in length, and I decided to sew that into the side seam because I didn't want that to be moving and just flapping around. So that's what I did with the blue dress. That's an alteration that I felt like was something that was a need for me because I just did not, I don't like the fact that this flaps around. Like I can tack that down. You know, it's easy to tack that down, and maybe I'll do that. But that's something that I did as well. Also, the front of this garment here, it will gape and it will come, like, it doesn't matter how much you add, because I actually added a half an inch to this neckline here so it wasn't so open. And even after adding that 1/2 inch, like on the teal dress, it still kind of gaped open, and I had to put snaps on here. So there's a snap here to keep this closed. And I had to do that with all the garments. The teal one that don't have the flounce on it, this one, as well as the blue one, they all have snaps. And I think that's one of the drawbacks of having these faux wrap dresses that are elasticated. I have yet to find a pattern where I can actually a make a faux wrap top where it doesn't just pop open without actually, having some kind of snap there or something like that. I was successful in achieving a closer fit and look where it didn't fall open with like the Tia knit wrap dress, and I can show you an image here of what those two dresses that I've made this past summer, what they look like. However, I still want to go back and put snaps on them, just because like if I bend over or anything like that, they're just going to gape open. It's just the nature of a faux wrap. I've never had any luck with actually having them to stay completely closed without having a snap or without altering them to a point where I had to add some width to it in order to have them to overlap in a way where it's more modest. That's basically my review of the pattern. I would not advise people who are beginning to sew, like, even though this the pattern says that it is an easy pattern, I would just give a word of caution here that if you're not someone who likes to alter patterns or to fix mistakes or things like that, or you're not at the beginning of your sewing journey where you can even recognize when a mistake is made, I would not recommend this pattern. Just simply because I had to make, all those adjustments in order for the bodice to fit the skirt. And I was a little bit disappointed with this particular dress because I really loved the floral detail, and it just didn't work out the way in which I wanted it to work out. But I was able to, with the skills that I have, I was able to fashion the skirt and kind of overcome those issues, fashion the skirt in a way in which I like, and overcome those issues. It is a decent pattern. I think that if you try it, you definitely should go into the project making a mock-up first, just simply because, like I said, I had that issue. But anyway, that's my review, and I hope that you enjoyed the video. If you did, please make sure that you give this video a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell so you can receive notifications of all my videos when I post them. All right, everyone, I can't wait until I show you the next video. I have some really exciting plans and some really exciting things that I want to share with you. All right, until next time, everyone, stay creative. Bye.